LeBron James down with the high ankle sprain. You see it right there. It was a frightening moment if you were watching when it happened in that game against Atlanta on Saturday, a game they would eventually lose. The team announcing he'll be out indefinitely. And so with LeBron and Anthony Davis both out with injuries, the Lakers played again last night and lost to Phoenix. And not surprisingly, they have struggled mightily when LeBron and Anthony Davis are both off the court this year in 463 minutes without those two on the floor. The Lakers have been outscored by over 4 points per 100 possessions. And let me bring in my insider, Brian Windhorst, with me here. What is the latest as far as, Wendy, how long we should be expecting LeBron to be out?
Yeah, so the Lakers are preparing and telling folks that they expect it to be a month. Now, LeBron's never had this injury before. This is all the ankle sprains he's had have never been this high ankle sprain variety. And so we don't know how he's going to react. He could very well be back before that, but the Lakers are operating like it's going to be that kind of time frame. And Anthony Davis is expected to get reevaluated this week, but he's not been doing basketball activity. So even if he's cleared, he's looking at a ramp up. So the Lakers are going to be without both guys for the short-term foreseeable future, maybe without LeBron well into April.
So what does this mean? I was looking at your notes, so I'm cheating by already knowing the answer. But as far as the Western Conference playoff picture, tell everybody how this thing could play out and why it is so fascinating.
Well, let's stop watching the number 1 seed in the West because that has now lost its relevancy. The most important seed in the West is now the number 6 seed because the 6th seed is where you are when you avoid the play-in tournament. And that is where everybody is going to want to be, including the Lakers. The Utah Jazz have got to be slapping their heads because they're in the number 1 seed position. But if the Lakers fall back here, and by the way, they're a bad week from being out of the top 6. And that's not anything about them. They're second right now, but they're 4 games from being 7th. And if they fall that far back, they would have to be in the play-in tournament, which means they would not possibly play the number 1 or number 2 seed in the first round. Not to mention those teams in the play-in zone face maybe the Lakers backing up to them with LeBron James and Anthony Davis roaring through there. So all of a sudden, you've got teams in the top hoping that the Lakers avoid the play-in tournament. You've got teams in the middle saying, can we pass the Lakers to get in? And now the 6th seed, potentially you avoid the Lakers and potentially avoid the top seeds in the West. So the 6th seed becomes the most important thing. So you have a team like Dallas who's sitting on the bubble there, who's got the trade deadline coming up in 4 days. You've got Golden State sitting there with the trade deadline coming up. All of these teams now have a new look at the order of things in the West.
These are things to keep a very close eye on indeed. And earlier this morning, Hembo popped it up there that in Vegas, the Lakers are still considered the favorites to win the championship. Does that still seem right to you? LeBron and Anthony Davis, the expectation is they will come back. Does it still seem right to you regardless of where they wind up?
I like them winning the West with a healthy LeBron and AD, and I suspect they're going to add a significant player in the buyout market. Andre Drummond is the guy that they're hoping for, so I think they're going to be significantly better. Can they beat Brooklyn at full power, 4 out of 7? Well, we haven't seen the full Brooklyn team yet because I think Brooklyn is still involved in the trade market and could still be involved in the buyout market. That's a series I want to watch. I'm not ready to declare a winner there, but I still like the Lakers if they're healthy. But I'll tell you what. If they have to play a play-in tournament and then have to play the number 1 seed coming out and haven't even played the Clippers yet, that's going to be a tough route.
All right, this whole thing just got very interesting over the weekend, and we'll be keeping a close eye. Wendy, outstanding. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.